So ultimately, when we saw the 6 minutes last week, right, nothing glaring came out of that would make me lean one way or another. When BMAC was talking about Jett Thompson and this sort of being his home court, right, and just this rule set fitting him so well, and then getting to overtime and arguing that rule set might even fit him better. Hard for me not to favor Thompson in this spot. It's an enormous spot for the Las Vegas Kings. We've used the word dynasty this season. They've won 2 of 3 team championships. They are trying to win their 3rd straight individual championship. This would be a huge moment for the Twisters. As big a moment for the Twisters as I could argue for Kevin Beuhring to realize sort of a championship for the 2nd ever franchise in the PGF.
Looking at Jett Thompson, he has been virtually flawless on this PGF mat. 27 wins, 1 loss, 19 draws, 20 wins in the bank for Kevin Beuhring, 6 losses, 16 draws. And, I mean, Jett Thompson, Brandon McCaffrey, he showed up as a young kid who was doing homework in between PGF matches, and really ever since then, while he didn't win that season championship, coming up short to Andy Varela, he's really been one of the faces of the PGF. And I know you were just out there with the youth of jiu-jitsu, but he's still very young in this sport. Is Jett Thompson, do you think, aware of his placement right now inside the PGF and what he represents when he steps out on the mat?
You know, I do think he's starting to become aware of it. I think that spending time over there with Kevin Lucas, the owner of the Vegas Kings, with Ricky Lundell, I think that they're instilling into this young man a sense of purpose and a sense of, listen, whether you meant to be or not, you are in the position of being a leader. And so I think that he's starting to grasp the gravity of that situation and what it actually means. Like, what is the weight on his shoulders? And now, here at the end, he's carrying the weight of the Vegas Kings right up on his shoulders, man. This is a big moment.
It's a great question you ask, right? And ignorance often can be bliss. It is, you know, Jett Thompson is married to the game. The Kings and what they're trying to do, he embodies all of it. Effort over outcome. He's so uniquely locked in and so uniquely committed to doing all the work. Sometimes creating the level of focus, the mental, is the biggest challenge for athletes in any sport. And Thompson at this age just feels so locked in. Is not even, I could argue, is, you know, I could tell you, I'm aware of a lot going on in this room right now. Jett Thompson's focus is so singular right now. It's just incredible. And the opportunity for Beuhring, who's a star, would be a massive upset, it feels like, for me still, despite how great Beuhring is.
Yeah, and look, we can talk about, we'll take a look at him right there with his leader, with one of his mentors, Ricky Lundell. There's the man, Jett Thompson, only 1 loss ever in the PGF. It came in the Season 6 final. It was just a few seconds that separated him and Andy Varela. But let's talk about this moment for Kevin Beuhring,
who just dispatched a very good friend and teammate in Elijah Carlton.
And what an incredible passing of the torch moment this could be. And how interesting that the young man, Jett Thompson, is the one who stands protecting the torch.
Right.
You know?
And you're absolutely right, a huge moment for Beuhring. But if Jett Thompson emerges victorious here, as we start to think about Season 10 and future seasons, with respect to Elijah Carlton, who had a great run, Jett Thompson has become damn near the Michael Jordan of the Professional Grappling Federation. There's Hackett.
Of course, the Tackett brothers, both of them actually here.
Did you say
tonight.
Hackett?
They can hack it in jiu-jitsu, I will tell you that.
Yeah, hack it, trust me, brother.
Yeah, right.
The reigning champion, defended his belt multiple times over there. One of the most exciting men in the sport right there. And, by the way, one of the nicest men in the sport. Him and his brother both, his brother William, just fantastic guys. But happy that he's here enjoying. I saw on the Instagrams the other day, he was like, I think PGF might be my favorite right now. Gotta agree with you.
All right. Well, you ready to get to it?
Oh.
That was a rhetorical question. I don't know why I waited for the answer.
No, I want to slow it down because I don't want to leave.
That's true. I do feel that. All right. The stage is set for our championship match. Let's get out to the mat. Let's go to Stephen Hake.
After 6 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The main event of the evening. Our number 1 grappler and number 2 grappler of the entire season. The first one making his way to the mat, representing the Vegas Kings. Everybody make some noise for Jett Thompson!
Last week at one point, I think I said we're running out of things to say about Jett Thompson. It's truly magical what he's done. Still has yet to have a break because he doesn't need to break arms. He just is after next. Everything by rear naked choke. I will tell you, if there was a betting line on this fight, he would be an enormous favorite. He's a prohibitive favorite. Massive star.
Maybe no breaks on the record book this season, but a breakout star to say the absolute least. One win away from becoming a double champion here at the PGF. Jett Thompson ready to go to work here in Las Vegas.
And his opponent, making his way to the mat, representing the Alabama Twisters. Make some noise for Kevin Beuhring.
So here's the man, Kevin Beuhring, and just to refresh your memories, debuted in Season 3 in 2022 as a fresh blue belt. Now dominant, undefeated in Season 9. If he can remain undefeated, he'll be strapped up at the end of tonight.
Embracing his Alabama Twister side, Elijah Carlson, now a spectator, cheering on his guy, Coach Sean Applegate, General Manager Matt Elkins. Kevin Beuhring, one win away from dethroning that man, Jett Thompson, who is a champion at a lower weight class. Tonight, though, he tries to claim the crown at 175 pounds. Beuhring for the Twisters, Thompson for the Kings. TJ DeSantis, Jason Anik, BMAC, Brandon McCaffrey. It is the finale of this PGF 2026 season.
And it could go either way. It could truly go either way.
You know, and when we talk about how deep the roster of 20 was and how elite the 8-man playoff was, the cream rises to the top, and these two athletes are right where they belong.
Kevin getting into a nice passing position here. Jett keeping that left butterfly hook. Now comes up, sweeps, finds himself on the top position. Sweep over for Kevin. Overhead. Nice work. Looking to pass. Got to be careful leaving that foot dangling out there. Either guy got to be careful leaving the foot dangling out there. And Jett gets the first bite. Kevin evades. Ooh, tense, dude. Tense.
Yeah.
Every grip feels like it could lead to the end.
Well, when you watch the regular season where it's 15 matches, highs, lows for a lot of athletes, no margin for error here.
When you talk about the highs and lows for Jett Thompson, it's largely just been one cool, calm demeanor, and he hasn't really faced much adversity at all. See if Kevin Beuhring has something up his sleeve 90 seconds into regulation.
Kevin using those butterfly hooks to keep him off. Looking for the far side arm drag here. Sweeps over to the bottom, which gives Jett the underhook. Threatened to the stand up. And they're going to run it back to the center here.
We talk about the energy in this room. B-Mac, you and I have been around a lot of jiu-jitsu, and I don't know if it's because of the...
Oh, look at this. I'm sorry, TJ.
No,
I
you're
hate to
good.
interrupt you, but there's a Darce choke cooking right here from Kevin Beuhring. Okay, now go ahead.
I was going to say, we've been around some big matches here, and I don't know if it's because of the season and how long it is or, you know, what we've seen tonight with teammate versus teammate in the semifinals, but I know it's jiu-jitsu. I know it's grappling. I know it's a niche combat sport, but this has a big fight feel.
Well, it's a big moment for these guys. Like, I mean, even if it wasn't this long storyline, this grueling season that led to this moment, there's still $20,000 on the line right here between these two guys.
Well, you know, and ultimately it's unique that you know, Kevin Beuhring and Jett Thompson, you didn't necessarily walk here tonight knowing that you're competing for a belt.
Look at this passing position that Kevin put together, and Jett kept him from passing somehow. That was beautiful. Jett just denied it. Jett has that K-guard position, tries to snap him in, gets him into the closed guard, and pulls him down. And this is Jett's world. We've seen him cook from here all season long.
Very difficult spot to be in for Kevin Beuhring inside this closed guard.
Kevin tries to lift him to get him to let it go. Jett goes to the sweep. That's how he took Sean Melanson over in their matchup early in the season. Not able to knock Beuhring to his hip, though.
See Jett Thompson's coach, Ricky Lundell, in the corner. Of course, the Kings already wrapped up their team championship, second in franchise history. They want to try to go for back-to-back individual winners as well. Thompson doing the same on both sides of that equation.
Beuhring standing, going to try to open the closed guard. Excellent technique, and that's how it's done. And that's why it's a good example of why Kevin Beuhring finds himself in the final with the right to battle against that closed guard of Jett Thompson. Beuhring pressured down, using his head to keep Jett's shoulder on the ground on the far side. Jett wants that underhook. Kevin wants to turn it into a darce if Jett gets a little risky. A game of inches. Kevin steps to the inside. Jett wants the underhook, and there's the darce attack again. And he's through the guard. Very interesting.
Beuhring in business as we approach the halfway point of the match.
Jett almost got a beautiful back take right there. Nice wrestle up by Jett. Puts those knees together, forces Beuhring down to his hip.
Jett is just riveting to watch. So sticky all the time. Just got to be a nightmare to face.
And it's almost like watching that, looking for that Estima lock right there. Little reaction from each other, breaking the tension of the moment.
Yes.
But I was saying, it's almost like watching a heavyweight title fight. Like any punch could be the knockout punch, and it really feels that way. Every grip from these guys feels like it could be the grip that puts them in the money.
Push away there, and Thompson having none of it as he rushes Beuhring. And nice little sign of sportsmanship as we continue here. Thompson back to the seated position. 6 minutes of elapsed time.
Oh, nice play. Now, this is nice work here by Beuhring. Underhook, he's got both of those shoulders flat on the ground. He wants that second underhook, and if he can acquire it, he's going to be in a fantastic. He's going to have a fantastic opportunity to smash Jett's knees together and push him to one side with his hips. There's the second underhook. You can feel the educated jiu-jitsu crowd. They understand something significant just happened here. There's the pass. Oh, and Jett. You know, he's so strong.
Yes.
But so much flexibility and dexterity with his legs, able to throw his leg over and threaten an arm lock from a absolutely vulnerable position. Kevin really using this overhook against Jett's underhook to neutralize a lot of Jett's best attacks. He's threatened him with the darce a couple of times. Kevin sitting back on a leg lock. Jett's like, no, sir, you're not going to do that to me. Pulls out of the position. Jett's going to want to wrestle up here. He's had success with it a couple of times already tonight. Kevin digs the underhook again.
Through 3/4 of regulation.
2 underhooks now. Not deep underhooks, but if Kevin can flatten the head there, he could create another pass. Jett able to frame, get his knee back inside the bicep of Beuhring. That's going to shield him from completing the pass. See Beuhring take a grip on the right wrist. Might see him use his left foot to step on that. Maybe even put his knee down on the inside of the arm, but Jett brings it back to the inside. Kevin again on the hunt for these double underhooks.
Beuhring doing a good job at making Jett Thompson play his game. That's something that a lot of people, really no one has been able to make Jett Thompson do, and that sort of follow their lead.
And as a result of that, he's kept Jett Thompson from playing his game. So Jett really been unable to get into his home run positions. Again, Kevin utilizing the threat of the Darce to try to shut down most of the power attacks of Jett Thompson. Switches sides on him. 2 underhooks again. And now we're in the same passing position. He had success with this earlier. Jett's just like, nah, not this time, son. Powers up. He's on a leg, but Kevin on the front head now. Sprawling. Jett, grown man, all the way up. Puts Beuhring down. Incredible play by Jett Thompson.
I think that might have been one of the only times we've seen Jett Thompson on the shot clock.
Yeah.
Now inside the final minute. I ask you this, BMAC, as we...
There's TV dinner. I saw TV dinner at the airport. See, that's what it's all about. I saw TV dinner at the airport after week 5, going back home, back out here for the playoff.
I just want to know, is that Elijah Carlton's shirt, or are they making I Hate Jett Thompson t-shirts?
I don't know.
Well, if I'm Jett Thompson, I want my cut.
Obviously, they're just kidding. Jett
of
and
course.
The Twisters have a great relationship.
Well, no greater sign of respect. Hate him because of the dominance, you know.
They hate him because they hate him? Isn't that a saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. 30 seconds.
You know, BMAC's talking about the advantageous positions that Beuhring has been able to keep Thompson out of.
Right.
As we tick toward 20 seconds left, going to be some advantageous positions creeping for Thompson in overtime.
Well, it's going to be an interesting sort of dynamic here in overtime. I mentioned the whole time we saw Jett Thompson.
These guys having fun with less than 10 seconds to go. We are going to OT.
It's not like 20 grand's on the line or anything. All right, we're headed to overtime. Now, I asked you this question, Brandon McCaffrey. I was asking around a little bit, talking about what it would take to get by Jett Thompson, and some people suggested that maybe overtime is the way to go. And I did hear that Kevin Beuhring might have one of, if not the best, overtime games of the field. Is that true?
One of, for sure. Problem is, Jett might have the best.
Problem is, you're on the road against Michael Jordan.
All right, Beuhring on offense here, top of the first.
The hands, so look, yes, I was just about to say, if I got to go down there and correct it, I will. The hands have to be center chest for the opening position. But I appreciate that Kev was trying to get away with anything that he could. I respect that.
So 10 minutes will not decide it. Overtime will crown our PGF 2026 individual winner.
Stakes incredibly high.
Body triangle locked on right away. Trying to go for the squeeze right now is Beuhring.
Going across the eyeballs. Powerful back control here by Beuhring. Body triangle locked on the bottom side. Thompson unable to create any kind of angle so far, but check out what he's doing with his left hook there, trying to go inside, and now he's stomping down. But he was trying to go inside with that left hook to try to flip Beuhring's body triangle open. There he goes. Nice, starting to put a little bit of pressure on. Oh, is Kevin going to take a run at this?
Ooh.
Squeezing. Look, he's so high up, he's squeezing across. What a moment, 40 seconds. 40 seconds, what a moment for Kevin Beuhring. Everything on the line for Jett Thompson to defend his title. What a squeeze that must be. 40 seconds on the line. If it goes to 41 seconds, it's over. If it's a tap for Jett Thompson in under 40 seconds, he is the champion.
My, how everything just changed.
Thompson has 39 seconds to finish this fight. Otherwise, Kevin Beuhring is your 2026 PGF champion.
40 seconds to glory for Jett Thompson and Kevin Beuhring.
Been a grueling night for Thompson.
The Kings have been on top all season long. Jett Thompson has been in that top position, leading the way, and now he finds himself down.
There it is. They got what they need now. Everybody, referees making sure it's absolutely perfect. Nobody has any advantage. It's exactly what it needs to be, and there it is. Kevin makes a move. He's got the separation that he needs. This could be the break that he needs. Thompson hanging on for dear life. 30 seconds to go.
Kevin Beuhring with an unlikely submission in the top of the first. And now he's just 15 seconds away from walking out the PGF champion.
The choker hand. He's going to carry. Jett saved it. One last shot for Thompson with 6 seconds to go.
Time is going to run out on Jett Thompson at the top. It belongs to Kevin Beuhring. Unbelievable.
Kevin Beuhring and the Alabama Twisters taste glory, taste gold at PGF Season 2026. Kevin Beuhring is your PGF champion.
It does not get more dramatic than that. Jett Thompson was perfect all season long, but Kevin Beuhring comes through with one of the biggest wins he will have in his career, and it nets him a PGF championship. Wow.
Unbelievable. Undefeated season for Kevin Beuhring. I tell you, Elkins and the boys believed in him. You could be sure Carlton's not blowing smoke when he's talking about him dominating him on the mat. Wow. To see Jett Thompson tap and get choked around the neck, you don't see that often in PGF. What a night. What a season.
You think about everything Kevin Beuhring had to go through to get to this point, taking out Elijah Carlton. It was not for naught. It was unbelievable. Let's go ahead and make it official. Stephen Aikman.
Your winner with a submission in overtime and 2026 PGF Champion of the World, Kevin Beuhring!
One of the most dramatic wins you'll see in combat sports. We did not get a winner in regulation. We go to overtime, and ultimately the submission by Kevin Beuhring, that's a champ.
Anyone who was privy to any of our conversations in the back knows that you were steadfast in your belief that if you were going to get Jett Thompson, it would be in overtime. Even though that rule set fits Jett as well, you felt like that was the only way, and you were right.
But I didn't know it would happen by submission. You look at the way the PGF runs through its regular season, the X factor in the playoffs is overtime. We always want a submission to net us a winner, but it's a combat sport. Combat sports are a game. Sometimes you have to play the game to win. I thought maybe someone could control Jett to the point where they would be able to, win on quickest escape time. We don't need escape time. Jett Thompson unable to escape the grip of Kevin Beuhring, and he tapped him in 40 seconds.
So Thompson had that grueling 10-minute match against Sean Melanson, and the bracket draw getting Melanson first out of the gate, who put him to work. Beuhring has quick taps from Chewy and Carlton, maybe had a little more juice for this particular match, but what a night, and Jett Thompson will be heard from again, just blown away.